Everybody, welcome to my channel. Today's segment is going to be about container gardening. I just want to apologize for the noise in the background. There's been no good time to film while there's a ton of construction going on in this neighborhood. So, you can see some containers I have here to maximize the amount of things that I'm growing, and it's a great I think that's like the pro versus the pro and cons of container gardening is you can really maximize your gardening that way. Whether you have a yard or a patio like this, ooh, or you know, a porch or whatever it is, you can really maximize what you're growing in the amount of space that you have. So let's take a walk through what we have here. Okay, so you can see here I've got some rosemary in containers. This one's my winter hardy one. This one's my regular old rosemary. And then I have a bunch of parsley in a container. In a container this size, you can actually fit multiple herbs in something like this. You know, like I could do parsley and thyme and oregano. I don't suggest mint or lemon balm. I would definitely pot those up by themselves because they grow like crazy and they'll just take over your entire everything. So a pot this size, I believe this is a 12-inch pot, could be a little bigger, is a great way to maximize your herb growth. You could grow carrots in something like this. You can grow just about anything in this size, really. Tomatoes, peppers. You could put a cucumber plant in this. I would say the only thing you really wouldn't be able to do, and chime in, you know, if anyone else has anything to say, chime in, is potatoes. Like, I don't really suggest doing potatoes in a bin like this. However, I do suggest it in grow bags, which I will show you in a minute. You can do flowers to get those pollinators in. This is a type of geranium that smells like citronella, so that's supposed to help keep the bugs away. Got some flowers over there, and then I decided to put the rest of my peppers in containers like this. I save all my containers that I get. These came from rose bushes and blueberry plants. See there. And then we've got another great size container here. This is much bigger. You can plant quite a bit in this, but I decided to do chamomile. Look at that. Because chamomile requires really good drainage, so I wanted to make sure that that's what it got, because it is subjected to root rot. So I layered it up with like cacti dirt, stuff like that. A lot of perlite. Perlite's a really good way to get drainage in your containers, which that's like the #1 reason why plants die is lack of drainage or overwatering. Depends on the plant. So this type of container is really good for, again, you can grow just about anything in this size. Ooh, a little wobbly, sorry guys. You can grow just about anything in this size. You could fit more herbs in this. You can do some kind of trellising plant with another plant. Put in there. I'm at a loss for words. Like, you could probably do cucumbers and then some herbs, or cucumbers and, you know, something else that is a good companion plant. And you want to make sure that when you are putting things in containers, that they are companion plants, because you don't want to put something in that does not go well together, like peas and beans. Not peas and beans, peppers and beans, because they'll just be fighting each other. So let's take a look at inside my garden and what I have going on in there for container growing. Really quickly, while we're on our way to the garden, something like this is bad. Though because you can see that there's absolutely no drainage whatsoever. I've got water pooling on the bottom, but you can create drainage in something like this. Like, look how big that is. That's a tub right there. 17-gallon tub. And this, I mean, you could totally maximize your space with something like this, but you want to make sure that there's drainage holes. So you can drill holes in. If you don't have a drill, what I used to do back in the day was I would take a hammer and nails and I would just like hammer in the holes. So this is something else that you can utilize as well in a small space. Okay, these are my potatoes, and you can see that they are in grow bags. This is another great tool for container gardening. Maximize small spaces. I don't have a ton of space for potatoes aside from this one raised bed, so I have grow bags. Look at that. It's a little flap in the front so you can take it out. Little spider. I've got onions in grow bags. I've got this crookneck squash in grow bag, and then you can see here I've got containers for all sorts of things. Though I have to say, this grow bag kind of sucks. And most of my strawberry plants kind of died. And the thing about grow bags is you've got to make sure that they're watered really well, because they will evaporate a little quicker than your containers. This is a really cool one that I have. It doesn't have anything in it, but you know. And you can see I've saved all my pots. I've put crookneck squash in this, which eventually it's going to go in a bigger pot. And in here, which is a total mess. Oh, total mess. Like, I've saved all of these, and I saved these because this is a great way to start things, and then you can put them in bigger pots. Oh, a goji berry out here. This poor thing, I think, got overwatered in the massive rain that we were getting here in New England constantly. Oh, and then this pot, got some good drainage going on here, is going to be for my chocolate mint. My God, it is quite warm in here. Ooh. Sorry guys, hold on. I got a good terracotta pot there. Terracotta pots are awesome because they allow your plants to breathe versus plastic. I use plastic because it's what I have. I don't have like a ton of terracotta pots. I think this is a 24-inch pot. But if you can get terracotta pots or whatever, it'll help your plants breathe a little bit better. And you know the whole thing with plastics and whatnot. But I don't like to throw anything out, so that's my problem. Now this, sorry guys, I'm a little out of breath. This right here is my stand-up raised bed. This is also a great tool to utilize in your container garden, especially if you have a smaller space, because you can use one side of it for, you know, a trellis. So you can grow like beans or peas or cucumbers or whatever's going to grow upwards, you know. And then you can plant a whole bunch of stuff in the front, or you could really utilize this for just about anything. It's got good depth, so you can do like Danver half-long carrots, radishes, salad greens, beets can go in this. What else? Quite a bit. You can do quite a bit with this raised bed, and I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with it. I was gonna use it for a strawberry bed, but because it's so deep, and strawberries don't require a deep pot because the roots aren't that deep, I think I'm just gonna try and utilize it for something else, maybe in the winter time. Now you'll notice here I've got a gaggle of plastic water containers, and this is also something that you can utilize in container gardening. It kind of creates its own little mini greenhouse. This is really good in the winter time for salad greens, radishes, maybe herbs. I really wouldn't use it for anything else because it's not really deep enough. I mean, you can't really do carrots in this, but you can use this for a bunch of salad greens and stuff like that. You would just cut it in half, make sure the top is closed, you know, and then tape it shut, create drainage on the bottom, and call it a day. You know, that's a great way of upcycling your containers. So that's that. I mean, there's so much you can do. There isn't very many cons. Hold on, let me flip this camera around. Hello. There isn't very many cons to container gardening. Unless you have a bunch of squirrels. They love to jump in your containers and just dig everything out of there. So be wary of that if you're in an area where it's very squirrely. And the only other thing is drainage. You know, again, I cannot stress this enough. You have got to have good drainage. Otherwise, everything's just going to get root rot, you know. Make sure that what you're planting is in a decent sized container, that like it has enough room. Some things can get root bound very quickly, like mint. I always bring mint up because that's such a perfect example of, you know, it's just a perfect example. Mint's crazy. You plant it in the ground and it's going to spread everywhere. You plant it in a container and it can get root bound. It'll survive, but, you know, you want to make sure that eventually it goes into a good container. I don't suggest grow bags for those either. As I have experienced, they take over the grow bag and then they grow through the grow bag and then they end up growing into the ground. And you don't want that. So there is so many benefits to container gardening. Also, make sure you wash out your containers. That's another important thing. If you are reusing them for something every year or something different, you want to make sure you wash them out so whatever bacteria may be in there doesn't transfer to your new plants. And that's it. That's all I got to say about container gardening. Super easy. Great way to maximize your harvest. Small spaces. You just got to buy the dirt for it. And that's really it. So if you guys have any more questions, drop a comment down below. And I will see you next time.